birds in the forest, they bitterly weep, crying, where can I shelter and where can I sleep? The oak and the ash have all been cut down, and the walls of bonny Portmore are fell to the ground.
Well, Steve Inishowen, we're delighted to be part of an island-wide network of communities who are resisting mining and other forms of extractivism. And the organisation is called Communities Against the Injustice of Mining. The acronym of that name actually spells CAIM, and CAIM in the Celtic belief is a circle of protection. And basically that describes very well what our network does. Together we're a circle of protection.
So we're very lucky that CAIM is there, and that it's a resource for us that we can all learn together and work together.
And it's great. It's a great, whenever there's that solidarity. We have monthly meetings on Zoom, and we've had the occasional meet-up in a central location, and it's very heartening and builds, the strength and determination of people to keep going in this battle to stop mining in our country.
Gold mining by its nature is very extractive. There's huge dangers involved with the chemicals that are used for processing it. Obviously, economically, it would have a huge impact on your farm if there was leakages into waterways, and that's on your farm. There's worst case, it goes into drinking systems for people as well. From a tourism point of view and an agri-tourism point of view, it's a huge blot on the landscape. I can't see any benefits to it for local people in the area at all.
There's a Canadian company has recently moved in nearby here in Greencastle, and they have put in for planning permission for a gold mine and a cyanide processing plant, tailings pond, and we've been studying it, and apparently through the process of gold mining, rock is crushed, and when rock is crushed and exposed to water and air, it releases heavy metals like arsenic, lead, copper, cadmium, etc. And that all will be put into the waste dump, and it'll also go into the water table, and we're very concerned that it will affect, for example, the Onkillu River, a special area of conservation that has freshwater pearl mussel.
Currently based in the townland of Pullboy, which is just outside Manorhamilton here in North Leitrim. It's one of the 47 townlands that has been included in the latest prospecting licence granted by the GSRO for gold, silver and base metal mining in our area. This came up maybe about 18 months to 2 years ago. We were notified in a small wee article in the paper that there was a prospecting licence being granted, and if you had any issues you could appeal them to the GSRO or put in your submissions. So we went away and we got ourselves informed about it. And I guess our image of gold mining prior to that, or my image, and a lot would have been, a fairly not that intrusive of an activity, panning for gold in a little stream or something, which we've quickly found out was not the case. We looked at the company involved, how they've operated in Northern Ireland prior to us, and we couldn't see anything but destruction left in their wake, with serious environmental threats to the local area as well, and waterways and all that.
People in Inishowen have a very strong connection to the earth, and whenever the earth is hurt, wounded in any way, we feel it viscerally. I'm not saying we're the only place, but I can only speak for where I live, and so I think we feel it with a passion.
There's so much of Ireland, north and south, that has been awarded to companies for prospecting, 25% in the north and something like 28% on the south, and that's growing all the time. So the solidarity from networking is going to be very important for the CAIMs, for the movement going forward.
We we kind of became aware that, you know, quarter of the surface of the island was being granted under prospecting licenses for mining. So this idea of really having to treat the island together and work and act together.
Green extractivism and all the greenwashing that comes along with it, which is not only about electric vehicles, but it's also about greenwashing the mining activities and say that mining is sustainable. And now with all the compensations, these companies say they are also responsible. They say they're inclusive and so many other adjectives that we reject.
The solidarity is so important. We've found that, and are educating ourselves, that were it not for networking with other peoples and groups and individuals, you know, across Ireland and some places across the world, that, you know, you won't learn. And these companies, we find that they are very much networked across the world, and they seem to use the same handbook in terms of how to divide, how to split, how to disempower communities. So we're very keen to use the solidarity of people at grassroots level through CAIM and through the meetings.
The understanding that we are all affected by our failure and the responsible approach to development. All of us are affected, and I take that, and that's very passionate. That's what I'm very passionate about. Our careless approach and pursuit for development should not risk our own existence.
And I was just going to mention policy capture. The gold mining companies provide the expertise, so therefore they help write the policies, and that is a very, very worrying thing, because I know it makes it easy for the government department, obviously, because they don't know, and then the companies are coming forward with their experts and saying, you know, this is what they're saying and recommending. We got access to some of the files because of a judicial review that I took in 2017, and it actually, one of the questions that was asked, where did we get the initial limits to set? How did we decide the initial limits? And the response was, Dalradian told us. Would know what limit to set it at. So it was, so they're writing the rules, which is very, very concerning.
We've been in this courthouse more times than enough, so we have. The whole lot of the groups, different ones, has been here, and we're just not getting fair justice, like being dragged into the courts regular and dragged into the police stations regular. And we're just raising awareness of how corrupt the system is.
The police seem to be heavy-handed against the protesters and ignoring sometimes vital evidence that has been admitted, and ending up with sentences against the protesters that seem unfair. Really on the side of the company or the police seem to be policing for Dalradian.
We either have to be activists or we have to be victims, right? Like we can't just sit silent, because then we're just victims. So if we speak up on our people's behalf or on our behalf, then we're activists.
We were focused on division, on managing division initially. But it was enough, in the beginning it was about trying to gather the information that we had and trying to share it with people and try to hold the community together. We came together then as a community. Kind of our first concern was about, we were looking at what was happening in Rossport with the Shell to Sea campaign. So we looked at the way that was being portrayed in the media. That community was really under attack, you know, and we would have been kind of half afraid of them because we thought that they were all lunatics, because that's what they looked like on television. And one of the biggest things that we done here was to go down there and speak to them. I suppose our experience in Leitrim always has to refer back to Rossport, because we wouldn't even have known that they were interested in gas here if it hadn't been those people that came and told us. doesn't make a lot of sense that a company would come and try to extract gold in a place that just banned fracking. But it is a real danger, because if they were successful, it puts everything that we hope to achieve here at risk, you know.
And I think there's strength in unity. One of the sayings that the Donegal people have is Nínear go Curly, which is about, you know, strength and unity, and we appreciate that and realise it.
Now this place is not going to be a sacrifice zone anymore.
I'm sorry for to see the woeful destruction